What is going on, everyone? We're back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Storyline Season 3. Now, there's a lot of things they talked about in this trailer. There are 7 new players in this that we're going to talk about, and they're doing something pretty similar they did to last year. Last year, they released 4 of them at launch, and they had 2 drops. They're doing a similar thing here. They're starting with 3 players at launch, and then there's going to be 2 other drops, and I imagine it's going to be 2 players, although they did not confirm that. But we only have 7 guys in this trailer and in the feature premiere, so you know there might be 1 guy hidden, or they might go 3, 2, 1, something like that. So that is something to think about. So we got 3 of them at launch, and then we'll have a drop probably in April, if I had to guess, with 2 of them, and another drop maybe in May or something like that with one of the other guys. So 7 new guys, as you guys can see on the screen right here. There was also a new stadium added as well, which is very exciting. Some interesting dimensions in that one that we're going to talk about in just a little bit. There was also the new team added with the St. Louis Stars getting added with their whole with their jerseys and everything. So when we play through Poppy Bell's story, you'll be able to get the jerseys and everything like that, which is pretty cool. Obviously, all narrated by Bob Kendrick, which is really exciting. But let's just go over the tweets right now. So here we have it. I'm pretty sure this is Mack Park, as you guys can see on your screen. I'm pretty sure this is that stadium we talked about. You guys can see, like, the fence is, like, off to the left, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, I mean, all these stadiums are kind of whack. But I love the old art style of this stadium. It looks insanely cool. Interesting dimensions in this stadium. This is the Detroit Stars Stadium. And they have a 265-foot wall in right field, which is very interesting. I think they said in center field is like 440 feet. So crazy dimensions in this stadium, which I think is pretty cool. Like we said, they added the St. Louis Stars and all their uniforms. And then the 3 guys we're getting at launch is Cool Poppy Bell, who they originally showed in the gameplay trailer, about like a month ago at this point. We have Turkey Sturms in the game, and then we have Bullet Joe Rogan in the game, which is very exciting. These will be the 3 guys at launch that we'll be able to use. And then we'll have all the other guys later in the other drops. They also shared SDS raised over $500,000 for the Negro League Museum, which is just insane to think about. How they did this, if you bought like the collector's edition or the $100 edition, every purchase someone made of those, 2 editions or whatever it was at the time, $1 of that will be donated to the museum. So over 500,000 people have helped to the museum, which is just an insane number to think about. So shout out to everyone in the community that obviously got those additions and helped them out. Some of the other legends that you guys saw in that trailer, I'm gonna try to pronounce them the best, but Monty Irving, Leroy Madlock, Oscar Charleston, and Biz McKinley or McAdee. And those guys will obviously be added later into the game, so probably when the next drops in April, and then after that maybe in May or something like that. So definitely exciting news we got for storylines. I'm so excited to get into this mode once again. We'll be streaming this obviously on the channel for each drop. Pretty much the same thing we did last year, which will be very exciting. But with that being said, that is all the storylines news we got. Now let's go talk about Team Affinity. Alright, so we just had the feature premiere about Team Affinity finish, and I actually showed this screenshot first about the storyline stuff. They actually have the cards revealed, 80 overall, as you guys can see from the first 3 guys we're getting at launch, between Cool Poppy, Turkey, and then Bullet Joe. So these are the 3 guys we're getting at launch, 80 overall. We didn't get to see any stats today in the feature premiere about Team Affinity, but I figured I'd throw it in here to see these kind of card arts. Very cool, I like these a lot. But I guess we gotta wait till the game comes out to actually see their stats. But jumping into the Team Affinity, and we kind of seen a little bit this throughout the trailers and things like that. But they start with the Yankees little Team Affinity My Journey right here. And this goes all the way up to 1,000,000 TA points, which is insane to think about. But this is supposed to be a long-term program like it was back in MLB The Show 20, which is 5 years ago, which is crazy to even think about. But these are supposed to be long-term. And all these stats that we're going to go over are tracked in ranked co-op, which is really cool. All the PXPs are tracked in ranked co-op. So really cool. If you use the cards over there, you can get the PXPs. So that's something they didn't really have last year. It was kind of buggy and messed up. So just thought I'd mention that as well. Another pretty big change actually coming right here. So we can take a look at Ben Rice's parallels right here. And if we see at the earned parallel XP, the plate appearances on parallel XP was actually 10 last year. They've upped it to 15 now. And Ashley basically said it's going to save you 300 at-bats if you just, had plate appearances and you didn't hit any other stats or anything. So that should definitely help people getting to that PXP 5 and the parallel levels and all that stuff. So definitely an interesting note, and obviously that will increase when you're playing online as well. So these are the new Jolt Series cards. Now in each Team Affinity, each team will have a Jolt Series card. So we're looking at the Yankees one right here, which is Babe Ruth. They showed a decent amount of them off today, but we'll see all of them tomorrow with the whole Legends reveal and everything like that. So if you didn't see your favorite team in the stream, they're going to have them all tomorrow. But all of these cards are not captain cards, but all of them have a captain boost. So that is a very important factor about this. You pretty much just use, Yankees players for this example, right? Yeah, and some of these cards are actually pretty good, as we can see by the Babe Ruth right here. So yeah, the new Jolt series is definitely a solid series. And to earn this card, you got to get to 55,000 TA points, which isn't too bad with all the missions actually. Each of the team affinities is going to have a moment, so there's going to be 30 moments across all of them. And all the missions, you just got to play the game with the cards. It's, hits, stolen bases, home runs, runs, all that good stuff. And they scale, so you start at the quick ones and then you go all the way up to some crazy seasons that certain players from these teams had. And you're gonna see what I mean when we keep going through the video, but there's some crazy ones, especially for the Yankees. And they did say it's gonna take about 2 to 3 hours to, to get one of these Jolt cards for a certain series if you're consistently grinding for that. So just a little bit of a heads up if you're trying to get these cards. Now this is something really cool, and I like this a lot because you're gonna be doing this over the course of the whole game, right? So as you guys can see here, we have an All-Star Game 2025 unlockable. And then we have a finest one for MLB The Show 25, as you guys can see right here. Collect this voucher in Team Affinity My Journey on 7/11, which is June 11th, to unlock your 2025 All-Star. So whoever the All-Star is for the Yankees, if you guys get this, the little unlockable, then you're going to get the card as soon as they launch them in MLB The Show 25, which I think is a really cool concept because it gives people something to grind for. And obviously July is really far away. We haven't even started the season yet, right? And they already have one for finest at the end of the year in November. So I think this is really cool. It gives people an incentive to actually grind for these things. It's kind of like you're going to get the unlockable now and then you're going to get the card later, which is kind of cool. So, you might have an increased chance to grind it if you want to, because you don't really know what the card is. But once again, if you don't like it, then, you're going to feel like you wasted kind of some time on that. But I think it's a really cool idea. They haven't really done something like this before as well. I definitely think it's a cool idea. And these are obviously locked, way later, right? I mean, you look at the TA points right here. I mean, you're obviously unlocking these a lot later. You guys could see that what the million one for that icon is. I mean, absolutely insane. So here's some of the long-term moments we have. I mean, look at this one, 238 hits to match Don Mattingly's 1986 season. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to have certain missions to do. Like pretty much they're all hits, home runs, and runs, right? All three of those are pretty much in there, or extra bases, I think, for a couple of them, at least for the Yankees. But they're all going to scale. So it starts at 25 hits, then it's 50, then it just keeps going up. Keeps going. So you're naturally going to get this done if you have one of these players on your team, which I don't think is a bad idea either. And I think the home run was Judge, obviously in 2022, hit 62 home runs. So I actually like these long-term missions a lot because you're going to always have something to grind, which I personally love. Sometimes you get on the game and if you don't want to play ranked or you don't want to play online, you just kind of want to offline grind. You sometimes look at the thing and you realize there's nothing to grind because you already completed everything. Well, these are really cool because it's going to be really hard to complete these quickly. So I like these a lot. And also, if you complete the Live Series collection, you also get some points. So there's 20k points right here if you complete the Yankees Live Series collection. You guys can see there's a 90 overall Paul O'Neill. So they basically said however hard the Live Series collection is, then the higher that card will be. So they obviously mentioned the Dodgers because they're obviously the most expensive. I imagine they would have the highest card. If we're getting a 90 from the Yankees, then imagine the Dodgers 91, 92, right? And all the other teams scale down, I would imagine. But that's just an interesting thing to think about as well. And then these are the hardest ones, the Clubhouse Leaders. Look at this challenge. You need to basically hit all of Derek Jeter's hits he's ever hit in the MLB at 3,465, which is just insane to think about. So, these are really cool. And you get 350,000 TA points for this to obviously get that #1 fan icon we saw a little bit earlier. So, yeah, absolutely insane. You got to hit the home runs and runs as well to actually get that. But yeah, I mean, it's actually insane what you got to do to get that. And I'm only wondering if Pete Rose is for the Reds, because we obviously know Pete Rose had the most hits in MLB history, over 4,000. No other players able to do that. I wonder if that one's for the Reds, because that's going to be tough if you're a Reds fan. And here's what that icon looks like, by the way. #1 fan right here. Pretty cool icon. I think you're not going to see this a lot with a lot of people having different teams, but I think it's kind of cool to add for the extra grinders that love grinding their team and love the team building. So they started to go through a couple of the other My Journey ones. We have Dave Parker coming back in the game. He obviously was in 23, wasn't in 24. So he was one of the legends that was going to be in 25. And they did go through a lot of the other teams as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And they also have a new series. We can see in the Rangers one right here. It's called Last Ride. So it's obviously the last year that a player's on a certain team or if they retire. So we see Adrian Beltran last year in the league was 2018. This is his last ride card, which I thought that was a pretty interesting concept for a card series. And I actually think it's pretty cool, to be honest. And the other new card series, I think we saw this one earlier. It's called Contributor. If their team did really good and they contributed to that team's run in the postseason or whatever, they get this nice contributor tag on their card. So yeah, it's pretty vague because like the whole team could technically get one of these cards, but it is something to add. Maybe they weren't the all-star player, but they were a pretty good player. I guess that's what this series is, I'm assuming. And they also said this is not the only Team Affinity drop they're doing. They said there's going to be at least 4 other ones, including this one. So you're going to have 3 to 4 Team Affinity programs to work on throughout the whole year, which I actually like that it's separate from this because it's all combined. It might be kind of annoying. So, I think they're going to still do kind of, a season of Team Affinity like we saw last year, right? where you're going to have multiple of these coming out. But, you know, this is obviously going to be the main one, the My Journey one. So definitely keep an eye on that when it comes to Team Affinity. Kind of here's how that captain boost works, by the way, because we did mention that earlier with this Babe Ruth card. We can obviously see we need to play with at least 5 Yankees players that are 91 overall or lower, which I thought was interesting, which means it's probably in the live series cards. You know, obviously if it's a throwback card, but 91 and over I thought was a weird overall. It's probably just considered to be a live series one, to be honest, because eventually you're going to have 99s and higher ups, right? So, I don't know, interesting captain bonus, but here it is. You need 5 players, 12 players, then 18 players to get the full bonus. And we can obviously see the Yankees got 10 contact versus righties and lefties, 10 batting clutch, and 15 hits per 9. And they did said some teams will have different ones because the Yankees have so many players, so many cards, such a great history. But it seems like the Nationals, they don't really have that many great players through their history. So they actually have a little bit higher. So I think their tier 3 is like 15 or something like that. It kind of balances it out is what they were saying. So that is another factor to keep in mind if you have like a team like the Yankees who's historic, or a team like the Dodgers probably has it as well. And they obviously went over some of the players we're going to be seeing in the Digital Deluxe bonus. And they said this 5th player will also be revealed tomorrow. So keep that in mind. And same thing with the 20 anniversary packs. They said this player will also be revealed tomorrow. And we can actually look at some of these player stats right here. We got the Billy Wagner card in this pack. So you guys can obviously get these if you order the Digital Deluxe Edition, or you get it as an add-on if you just bought the standard game. As you guys can see, the Ks per 9 are pretty solid at 118. Pitching clutch at 112 is really solid. Velo and break is insane on this Wagner card, so definitely a solid one. We can continue on to the next player, which is the Nolan Ryan Last Ride card. Obviously last year with the Rangers, and I think last year in general when he retired. Pretty average card once again throughout the board. He's got no really leading stat for him, but still going to be solid. I think he's got a good mix, so should be an exciting card as well. We have Derek Jeter's All-Star card from 2012. I mean, that contact versus lefties is just insane at 123. Really good vision on this card as well. Pretty clutch, good speed, good feeling. So overall, pretty solid card from Derek Jeter. And then Sammy Sosa probably got the best one out of these. You know, so far we haven't obviously seen that 5th guy, but 102 versus contact versus lefties, 99 power. I mean, 85 power versus lefties. One thing that's really bad is the vision, in my opinion. And the fielding and speed is just insane. So Sammy Sosa is probably the best card from this one. Then from the 20-year anniversary pack, we have Joe Mauer. Obviously good contact versus righties and good vision and pretty good defense. Besides from that, not the best card in my opinion. I'm not really a big fan of that one. We got Vladimir Guerrero Sr. right here. Once again, pretty good speed, really good fielding in the outfield. And some decent stats across the board for sure at 80, so he's got some good stats. This one's David Wright. I like this card a lot, actually. Good fielding, good speed on this one. 75 power, can still hit home runs. 62 vision, not horrible. I actually like this card. 103 contact, obviously insanely good. For a third baseman, I feel like this is a pretty good card, especially at launch. And the last one we had was Clayton Kershaw on the mound. You know, he didn't have any crazy outstanding stats, but 90s are still pretty good. 81, right? I mean, still pretty decent. And he's got a good pitch mix as well with the 5 pitches. So that was one of the other cards as well. But overall, really solid feature premiere. The other thing they did say is that now in later packs you earn from 24 will come to your account on launch night, which will be the 18th. So keep that in mind if you guys are playing the game and you realize you don't have your now and later packs. Those will come when the game officially launches for everyone else. But besides from that, pretty good stream when they talked about Team Affinity. Pretty excited for the Legends reveal tomorrow, and they obviously got the Dev tournament tomorrow if you guys want to tune in. We will obviously just be covering the Legends reveal. I don't really care too much about the developer tournament, to be honest. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Legends reveal. Peace out, everyone.